What is good, Cuddy people, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Bobbalam getting denied by my stepmom, who I thought was feeling the Bobster, but I guess not. Gonna be a real awkward conversation with my dad later. But in related news, it looks like Lil Uzi Vert was unfortunately left off the BET award nominations that many rap fans were surprised by, given how successful Eternal Take sold already in 2020. But maybe there's a simple underlying reason as to why Uzi didn't make the list. But before we get into all the details, Bob Gang feature comment of the video is from Scum, no relation to Scum Gang leader 6ix9ine, I would presume, who said Trippy finna ride a Pegasus to Cardi's house to kidnap Cardi's son so he can feature him on his album. I don't know if that's the best move for Trippy though, because if Cardi's son Gilby actually been the one rapping the baby voice in the latest Cardi releases, the general public been hating on the fetus voice too much for Trippy to take that chance on the album. But back to the topic, Uzi denied BET award nomination and responds. Let's talk about it. Okay, so as we already mentioned a couple times in the intro, the BET Awards announced their nominees for each category. By the way, BET stands for Black Entertainment Television and is typically way less biased in hip-hop categories in comparison to the Grammys or whatever, because, well, it's judged by a primarily black organization that tends to be more in tune with hip-hop, a predominantly black music genre. And because of such reasons, you would think that each of the awards nominations would be on point, especially Best Male Hip-Hop Artist, because again, hip-hop is not only primarily black but also male, so you would think that they would focus all their efforts for the awards onto this category. I don't make the rules, that's just how it is. But as I was saying, the 2020 Best Male Hip-Hop Artist nominations were announced, causing a bit of a controversy in the hip-hop community and even more tragedy in the Uzi fan base, because in all reality, Lil Uzi Vert should have been nominated given the stats Eternal Take achieved already this year, including but not limited to a #1 album for 2 weeks straight and the most Hot 100 Billboard placements of any artist in any category this year. So even if we're not just talking hip-hop, Uzi should have been a contender for any genre that he applies to. But what many people online are claiming is that these nominations were probably drawn up via 2019 stats, because typically award shows are planned months in advance and we're only 6 months into 2020, and it's not like anybody has even been able to go into the office without contracting airborne AIDS this year. But even without that, award shows are kind of like Madden or 2K, where it's called 2020 but it really means 2019. Thus the 2020 BET Best Male Hip Hop Award nominations basically equate to the Best Male Hip Hop Artist of 2019. Easy and simple. But if we use that same logic, the remaining nominations are still very odd, in that Drake, from off the top of my head, I don't believe released any solo music in 2019, whereas Travis and Lil Baby only dropped like one solo track each, with Highest in the Room, aka Highest in Kylie's Plastic Titty Implant and Whoa, respectively. As for DaBaby, I don't really mess with his music that much personally because it gets repetitive, but he did objectively run 2019, whether we like it or not, releasing like infinite projects and singles that all sold pretty well, at least 100K every time first week. And we can't deny Roddy Ricch either, because the box went #1 on the Billboard for more weeks than my girl's box, Been Addicted to Vagisil. And lastly, Future, similar to DaBaby, dropped 2 projects with The Wizard and Save Me in 2019, so I guess he did last year. I wouldn't say he deserves the award at all though, because honestly he was falling out of relevance for good until his resurgence with Drake on the Life is Good single that released in 2020 but not 2019, that we should take note of. So with all that being said, I actually don't believe that the 2020 awards are evaluated upon 2019 solely, but rather late 2019 and early 2020, because Future, Roddy Ricch, and Lil Baby didn't really even start popping off till early this year, at least for award status. So after realizing that the 2020 BET Awards robbed Uzi of his nomination for Best Male Hip Hop Artist, and that it wasn't as simple as it's really just for the year 2019, because obviously that's not true given the lack of music from most of the current nominees in 2019, Lil Uzi Vert has every right to be pissed about being left off the list. In fact, Uzi even responded to the situation as he should call them out for being such uncultured swines, because Eternal Take easily outsold every single other nominee in the Best Male Hip Hop Artist category in first week sales, selling 330K itself, including Travis Scott and Drake, who sold less than 300K in their last projects. Streaming wise, more specifically, Dark Lane demo tapes sold roughly 225K first week, whereas Travis Scott streams equated to only 270K on Astroworld. Yes, I know Trav ended up selling well over 500K due to merch bundles, but let's be real, more than half of the merch buyers were the same people as the listeners, and they probably each bought 6 t-shirts in every colorway for resale or whatever. But as I was saying, Uzi responded to BET by firstly tweeting, "Y'all see how they do your boy," obviously referring to the award nominations because the tweet was only minutes after the first announcement, and then shortly after tweeted again saying, "It's because I don't follow the rules of hip-hop, it's boring," which very well may be the reason he was left off the list, because his overall sound and aesthetic is kind of on the outskirts of the hip-hop realm. Although Baby Pluto style definitely fits within hip-hop and rap, but songs like That Way kind of push him into being a pop artist. Either way, still most, if not all, but a few are straight hip-hop, and nobody can deny that fact. If there's one thing I did notice from the list of nominees, is that all of the artists are the typical rappers the average hip-hop listener would think of because of the way they portray themselves. That's why you don't see any quote emo rappers or anything like that on there, say like a Juice WRLD or Uzi or even NBA Youngboy. Not saying he's an emo rapper, but they easily compete and even beat some of the nominees in sales on a weekly basis. If any of these award shows want to earn respect, they gotta pull a Hot 100 billboard and let us know how they calculate who the winners are, because in this case it don't make sense whatsoever. So with that, it's your boy Bobbalam pulling up to BET with Lil Uzi to futsal shuffle their whole establishment into bankruptcy. Let me know in the comments if you think Lil Uzi was robbed of the 2020 BET Best Male Hip Hop Artist nomination. Make sure to like and subscribe while you're at it for the latest hip hop news and analysis videos, as well as to follow me on all my socials in the description if you with it. Peace out, cutty people. Know what I'm saying?